push all the buttons now. Okay, welcome and thank you for being here. I'm Pam Comfort. I'm the president of the Pastel Society of the West Coast. And we're so excited to have our 39th annual Pastels USA 99 Voices in Pastel exhibition here at the Hilbert Museum. It's a beautiful venue, as you can see, and we have been welcomed with open arms here. We're so excited. The show is gorgeous, the works are beautiful, and our heartfelt thank you to the Hilbert Museum, Mary Platt, the director, Emily Valdez, and the wonderful staff here. They have been fabulous. Thank you to Lynn, Attig, our show chair, and the many volunteers that have helped make this happen. And we've also had a wonderful partnership with the Watercolor West, the other society that we're sharing the venue with here. It's been great. We're so pleased to be here. We are looking forward to being invited back. We're going to be announcing awards, which is very exciting, but I'd like to start by introducing Mary Platt, who's going to be introducing the next special person who's going to be awarding the first award this evening. So, Mary.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. How many people, this is your first time in the Hilbert Museum? I know some family members probably, yeah. Well, a special welcome to you. The Hilbert has been here for almost 10 years now. Believe it or not, we're going to be celebrating our 10th anniversary next year, and as part of Chapman University. And it's a special treat for me whenever we get to work with one of our wonderful art clubs. People don't realize, and I didn't even realize until I heard the wonderful John Stern do a lecture on art clubs, the impact and the importance of art clubs, especially here in California. You know, they're places to network, they're places to get your art seen, they're places for learning, and you know, it's his opinion, and mine too now, that, you know, California wouldn't have achieved its wonderful place in the history of American art without our art clubs. And I know your clubs are international and national in scope, but, you know, that is also important because that brings all those different threads of learning. So congratulations for being part of these clubs, and we get to hear every day the feedback from our audiences, and every time we do an art club show here, but especially it seems now with the pastels and the watercolors, people are really responding to it. People love these media. They love the results that you have obtained with all the different forms of art, and you're showcasing your media so well. So thank you to all the artists for your creativity, your talent, and for being here at the Hilbert Museum. So to present the first award, which is a special award from the Hilbert Museum, I'd like to introduce the founder of the Hilbert Museum, Mr. Mark Hilbert.
Well, thank you, Mary. This is a very, very difficult job to choose a first place winner because there were so many wonderful pieces in the show, and I just walked through it again. I thought, well, I got that. So it was really tough. So anyway, to cut it short, I'm going to give this award to Mary Eslin. I pronounced that right.
That was a very special award, and it was actually a surprise for us, a wonderful surprise, that Mr. Hilbert wanted to create this special award, one for Watercolor West and one for the Pastel Society, the Founders Award. In addition to the 28 awards that we have from the sponsors of our show, this very special one, that he made the selection for the winner. So congratulations, Mary. Really special. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. All right. At this time, we are going to announce the rest of the awards, and we are going to start with the sponsor awards. So I'm just going to go right into it. And the very first one is the Diane Townsend Pastels Award, and it goes to Last Prayer by Tatiana Jacinto. Is she here? Many of our artists are not here because they are international, national, and from far away. So if the artist is not here, we will just place the award plaque face up, and we'll be hanging it on the painting so you can all see, and it will stay for the rest of the exhibit. And we'll take a picture of it with the painting. Okay, so John's here. Congratulations. The next award is the King of Frames Award, and it's the third one, and that goes to the painting Ah by Kathleen Wheel.
Yes,
Is Kathleen here? Okay, congratulations, Kathleen. Okay, and then another King of Frames Award 2 goes to The Customers by Christine Finfer. And I know Chris is here. Yay! Thanks. Congrats, Christine. Okay, and then the last King of Frames Award goes to Spring Fever by Deborah Dixon Shea. And she was coming, but she was unable to make it. So, congratulations. All right, the next one is the Upstairs Art Gallery Award, and it goes to the painting A Dapple a Day Keeps the Nocturne Away by Mike Barrett Kolosinski. Congratulations, Mike. Okay, and then the Ampersand Art Supply Award goes to The Journey Home by Linda Louise Moody. And I know she's here on Zoom. Congratulations! Okay, the next one is the Faso Bold Brush Award 2, and that goes to Market Day by Anne Spivey. And Anne, and we're going to want a picture of the artist with their paintings, so don't leave until our photographer gets your picture, please. Okay. Okay, now we have the Armadillo Art and Craft Award. It goes to Bound and Beautiful by Bithia Berman. Beautiful. Congratulations. Okay, we have the Airfloat Systems Award, and that goes to Lost in Thoughts by Laura Mosnick. Laura, are you on there? Congratulations. Good thing for Zoom. All right, now we have the Golden Peak Media Award. This one goes to The Moon and the Stars by Susan Kuznitsky. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Susan. All right, the Show Submit Award goes to Frame Restoration at the Museum by Gerald Boyd. Congratulations. Okay, we've got some more. The Blick Art Supplies Award is awarded to Wild Lilac by Margaret Laurelem. She's on here. Congratulations, Margaret. Okay, moving on to the Clairefontaine Pastel Mat Award. It goes to Portrait of the Bearded Old Man by Yankee Zai? Yankee Zai? Okay. All right, is he on here? Is he? I'm not sure. I think I see him. Congratulations. I believe that painting came all the way from China. Yes. Okay, and then the HK Holbein Ink Award goes to Coming in Hot Pink by Diane Johnston. Diane? Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, now we come to the Faso Bold Brush Award 1. Goes to the painting Pink by Lisa Rico. Lisa, I think you're out there. Congratulations. The Jack Richardson Award goes to Sigh Once More by Teresa Steinbach Garcia. And the Terry Ludwig Pastels Award goes to Waiting for Parts by John Sherry. The Schminke Award goes to Aspens by Albert Handel.
Yes!
And I just want to mention that many of the sponsors, I think all of the sponsors are on this poster back here, so we thank them very much, and we couldn't do this without our sponsors. The Dakota Art Pastels Award goes to Yachts Alive by Mike Ishikawa. I know Mike's here. Congrats, Mike. Bring it back so we can, oh, you did? Okay.
See this lady here? She's the one that got me started in pastel in 2009. Looking for her on Friday, still sketching black and white. Drawn in pastels, and I love it.
Thanks, Mike. Mike's about to have a big birthday. We're going to celebrate very soon. Okay, next we have Earthberry Pastels Award. Goes to Legacies by Patty Arbino. And the Royal Talons Award is awarded to Crossroads by Letitia Roller. This one is the Fine Art Connoisseur Featured Artwork Award 2. And it goes to the painting A Piercing Look by Parag Dinesh Bors. And there, oh, hello! Coming in from India, right? Zooming in. Congratulations. Okay, we're getting there.
Oh, we need a new photographer.
Okay, I'll be that person. Okay, or, okay, I'll be that person. Okay, the next award is the Fine Art Connoisseur Featured Artwork Award 1, and it goes to Emergence by Christopher Stillians. Okay, I'm not the real photographer.
You're not real quick.
It's Congratulations, Chris. All right, the Fine Art Connoisseur Streamline Publishing Award goes to Concrete Jungle by Nancy King Meritz. And she's here in Chicago. I don't know if she's coming in from Chicago. Congratulations, Nancy. Okay, now, we're getting to the place awards, and the third place award, which is the Membership Award of Excellence, goes to In the Bag by Diane Feckenbach. So, congratulations. The second place, which is the President's Award, goes to The Call by Heidi Reeves. Okay, and drum roll to the first place. This is the Wacom Sutherland Honor Award. Goes to Old Souls by Mary Aslin. Mary! Two big awards today, Mary Aslin. Oh my gosh. Congrats. Aren't you glad you changed your mind? Okay, and the very last one I have on the list, drum roll please, is our Best of Show. It's the Daniel Green Memorial Award, Autumn Splendor by Marie Tibbetts. And Marie's here! That's so wonderful. And to let you know, already 12 of the paintings have sold since we opened 2 weeks ago, and there are many, many more beautiful pieces that are available. So if anyone's interested in inquiring about a purchase, please see me tonight, and I'll help you with that and put you in touch with the artist. So we hope that some more will fly off the walls, because as you've discovered by now, pastel is a beautiful luminous medium, and we're really, really happy to be here. So Pam, do you want to say a few more?
I just want to say congratulations to everyone who has a painting in this show. I mean, it is a feat just to get a painting into the show. It's a feat to get up the gumption to enter a show, as we all know. So congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to all of you who accompanied an artist here tonight, because it takes a village to support an artist. Thank you for being here.
And if you'd like to mingle around and speak with the artists, you can talk to them all night until 8 o'clock. And then,
Remind them to get a
oh yeah,
picture with
reminder, if you received an award plaque, please take it over to your painting and stand there. Chris and I will be taking photographs of each of the winners. And then in about 20 minutes or so, the Watercolor West award ceremony will begin right here. So come back for that at 6:45.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you all. And the show is open till November 30th, so if you want to come back over and over, we'll have Saturdays with the artists. You can come and mingle with artists, but the show's open Wednesdays through Sundays until November 30th.
Hello friends, I'm Colette Odya Smith, and I'm with you here today at the Hilbert Museum in beautiful Orange, California at the Chapman University. And we're here to celebrate the 19 Voices in Pastel, the annual juried exhibit of the Pastel Society of the West Coast. I have been honored to be asked to serve as judge of awards, so I'm going to take you through my choices for award winners. You get to follow along and see a little bit of what I've been thinking and why I chose the pieces I did. You get to agree, you get to disagree, you get to ponder my choices, you get to even not care if that's the case. But I hope that you enjoy seeing the beautiful artwork and maybe even consider why you would find these valuable and why you would enjoy seeing them. Hope you come to the show. So the first piece I'm going to talk about today is this piece by Mary Aslin, and I chose it as the first place winner. Not only is it a piece with size and stature, which in itself is an accomplishment in pastel, but the tonal richness that she has achieved within a very limited palette, I think is remarkable. If you look at it as a compositional study, it's mostly reds and greens, and yet the variety of richness that she has shown within that and the emotional content that she has created, I think is very, very beautiful and worth your attention. So come with me, we'll continue down the way. We will take the pieces as we find them, so they're not in the order of the award. This next piece is an award winner, one of the sponsored award winners, and I chose it because it clearly shows a mastery not only of the technique with the pastel, the way the pastel has been applied is fresh and strong, the forms are convincing, the story it tells is rich, and the composition is very complex, and yet somehow doesn't overwhelm us. We still know this is a story about boats gathered together and reflected in the water. And again, appreciate the tightness of the color palette and the richness that's been achieved within the tightness of the blue and cream and highlights of lime green. Just obviously someone very, very skilled at their craft. This piece I chose, another sponsored award winner, partially because it is such a standout in terms of style, colors, and aesthetic. This piece is one of the most removed from representationalism in the show, and that in itself deserves recognition because it takes a kind of courage to break out from what is conventionally comfortable, which is to make something look like something. What I'd like to call your attention to that I found wonderful about it is the complexity of forms that somehow hold together and balance each other out and move your eye around with so much energy and confidence. The forms are complex, yet they interact with each other in a beautiful way. And I think the whole piece is just engaging and rather compelling and adventurous. So that was why I chose that piece. Here we have something that's way at the other end of the aesthetic spectrum. To me, this piece, and this I chose as the second place award winner. To me, this is a wonderful example of a very traditional piece. It's a wildlife painting, and yet it is not trite. The story here is told with such finesse and such subtlety that I think it elevates it far beyond what people often think of when they think of wildlife painting. I particularly love that the moose is not in the dead center. It shows that the moose is an active part of the scene. Look at how much of the image is occupied with this foggy, almost as if it's the breath of the animal as it calls. The subtlety, the finesse with which this is rendered is very evocative and again, very well done. And just to continue our theme of very diverse styles and application of pastel, we have this beautiful piece that, while it is representational in that we recognize this industrial equipment, it's about the beauty of the forms, the abstract composition of it, and the energy of the different colors, the purples against the golds of the sunset. So rich and so beautifully done. See again, the paint is handled differently. It has an energy to it, it has direction, it has some areas that are complex, some that are actually just gestural, and some that are massive forms. That takes a lot of skill, so I wanted to honor that. Here, the piece that I chose for a sponsored award is a woodland scene that one of the first things I'd call your attention to is the aspect ratio. There is creativity and strength in the artist choosing the long, thin, horizontal format. That gives a structure and an energy to this piece that helps to tell the story of a woodland, because this is closer to how you experience it. And the colors are very, very appealing, very rich. The artist really understands blue, green, purple as a combination of the experience. And look at how skillfully our eye is drawn to this focal point of light that draws us into the story. But it doesn't leave us wanting. The colors back here and the energy back there is just as inviting as the deep, deep, rich tones that lead us to it. Another beautiful piece. You're going to hear me say that a lot. There's a lot of beautiful pieces in this show. And every piece in the show is of high technical quality. It's clear that the jurors did a great job, and every piece in the show shows a great deal of competence and skill. This next piece has that same horizontal aspect ratio, but look how differently this artist uses it. This artist uses this linear effect to create a design. These large flowers move and radiate in this line, almost like, well, forgive me, almost like the skirts on Dancing Can-Can Girls. You know, it's lively and rich. The colors are similar, and yet the blue breaks in around the edges, making this a very lively painting. And for those who appreciate a level of photorealism, this is a winner on that score too. This piece I chose as the third place winner for what to me is obvious reasons. Once again, we have a horizontal format, but it's not so long. But that makes the composition all the more striking. Here again, we have what could have been a boring traditional still life. Some apples lit with a raking light on a white surface in a dark background. The piece has drama, but it also has some surprises. The fruit is in plastic, and the painting skill and techniques that are used on the apples are different and yet complemented by the linear skill with the pastel on this side. And if you were to see just that piece of it, you might not even really know what it was. It would be extremely abstract. And the same thing of this. If you took just a piece or part of it, it's easy to see the strength of the composition in this piece. The positioning even of this beautifully modulated shadow that reflects some of the yellow and also brings in some rosy and blue tones. Hope you can see those. It's just a stunning piece. I think it's very, very well done. Shall we come over here? This piece also sings in the realm of subtlety. I would say that it's what some people would call a tonal painting, or a painting done in a tonalism style. Everything is modulated and all the colors flow one to the other, and there's again that subtlety going on. But it tells a story, and the richness of the experience that this gives you, I think, made it a winner. Here's a fun one. Just look at that. Come on. 2 cats. Did you see the second cat? Almost like a shadow version of the darker one. We have the blue cat and the purple and red cat. I think that the way the subject matter is handled is fresh and entertaining. I also think the way the forms of the cats are integrated with the environment, with the setting the cats are in, is extremely well done. If that background didn't support the forms of the cats so convincingly, I don't think it would be as successful a painting. I think, and then those eyes, come on, you can't not look at those eyes. They're just so piercing and grab your attention. Just a really fun, attractive piece. Once again, we're in the realm of subtlety. Maybe that's what I'm seeing today, but again, a different kind of tonal painting, because this one is actually extremely representational, really realistic. These old books, can't you just feel the age? Can't you feel how heavy they are? Even the darkness of the whole image just bespeaks the experience of an old library where the light is just filtering softly through the window. A beautiful, convincing atmosphere and an engaging story. And that doesn't even begin to talk about the kind of paint handling skill that it takes to render these forms and these book shapes so beautifully. And look at the slight variations of shape and position and tone. There's a lot of variety, there's a lot of richness, and yet it's a very quiet, meditative piece, which bespeaks of sitting in a room like that with old books. This piece I awarded because of the warm, welcoming feeling that it generated in me. This is a person I would like to get to know. This is a person who feels real to me. The color scheme is warm and rich. Her eyes are warm and rich. Even the cool green as a complement to all the rosy tones is beautifully done and reflected up onto her skin. There again, a tight color palette used extremely well. And her skin tones are just luscious. And in this case, the background is very simple. But the way the artist has cropped it, it works. We don't need anything more. All we need is the tonal background to support the story of this beautiful young woman that the artist has captured. And this is another portrait piece that I was very moved by. And in this case, it's very interesting, I think, that the artist has chosen to put the majority of the face in the dark. The highlights are on the hair, the beard, the ear, which I think is kind of challenging to us, but it encourages us to look a little deeper and a little longer to see What is his expression? Is he looking at us? How does he regard himself? Is he in the dark? What's the story going on here? And again, the paint handling is just masterful. And I know this is a little off topic, but I want to call attention to the kind of extra effort that was made on the matting and framing here. Generally, I don't discuss the matting and framing, although it is a factor when you are enjoying a piece of work in person. It matters. And I just was struck in particular with how beautifully these layers of matting and color enhance the piece. So kudos not only to the artist, but to the framer, another art form. So where should we go next? Should we go down there? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's a big, beautiful show. What kind of bird is this? It's not a flamingo, but that pink, I don't know. I'm just gonna call it a big, beautiful pink bird. The combination of how beautifully the bird is rendered, how successfully I think it is composed in the frame, even to letting the wing get off the edge. I think that helps the composition. It adds to a dynamic strength, I think. The bird isn't just surrounded by dark blue. The bird's wings are up, so there's this indication that the bird is going to be beyond the frame. And I think that's conveyed with that small detail that's very successful. I would also call your attention to these gorgeous lines of color that indicate water. I may be wrong, but it looks to me as if the grayish color could be the color of the paper. I'm not sure. But the fact that the artist has chosen to blend the colors and yet not blend the shapes. Do you see how each element of the water is separate and has an incredible energy, and then it moves up into this broken energy that just indicates foliage, never paints foliage, just lets us know it's different up there than down here. And look where the artist takes us to the top, into a realm of vague darkness that's really quite rich. But how successful that works as a setup to the beautiful, lush painting that goes on in the bird's feathers. Let's turn here. This piece is one that has very successful composition, color, and light, and yet it looks effortless. It almost looks like it's not about very much. That's something I actually like in paintings. I like paintings that aren't necessarily filled with deep meaning. I enjoy works that tell very simple stories. Some trees on the bank of water, and nothing is overworked. The trees have these beautiful spots of color, light and dark. The hillside has spots of brightness, spots of darkness, and yet the shapes with which the pastel is laid down are distinctive and fresh. And once again, it's a piece that shows a great deal of skill and experience with pastels. Now this piece is the one I chose for the best of show. And I'm so delighted it's in the show. Where do I start? I could talk to you about the color palette. Once again, a tight color palette with a great deal of tonal range and richness. I could talk about the drama. I could talk about the hard to do but successfully accomplished fact of putting something smack in the middle. Every other piece that I've shown you today has some kind of asymmetry to it. This is the most symmetrical piece, and yet it is so well done that I'm completely convinced they couldn't have done it any other way. The drama of the light, I don't know if it's silver or pewter bowl with reflections of the leaf colors. I particularly love the linear aspect of the stems of the leaf. This is a piece that reaches out to you and grabs your attention, but it's not just showy. It has a lot to offer you, so you want to stay with it for a while, and I think that's makes it even more successful than just a dramatic piece. I think it's wonderful in many, many ways. And if you were here in the person, you would see that although the background is basically black, there is some tonal richness to that too. Very well done. I mean, even, I was talking about these stems. Look at how crisp and clear those are. And then look at this one that just trails into the black. It's a very subtle kind of touch. It goes to the skill of the artist. So congratulations. And we will come across here now. This is another piece that's in the realm of very realistic, very representational, but it's not just about the skill of being able to represent stones so beautifully, although that's what draws us to it. You see this from across the room, and you want to come closer and go, really? You know, is that really, you know, that's an accomplishment. But look at it as a composition. I mean, anybody can aim their camera or their sketchbook at a pile of rocks, but this is a particularly colorful, beautiful arrangement of rocks. And it's not an accident that they look so good together. There are tonal elements that repeat and support each other. So for instance, look at this line. Look at the cracked lines there. Look, is that a color line or a shadow? We don't know. Here's another line that brings us up. Here's another. And yet, overall, we see these round ovoid shapes. So there again, how interesting that the artist has used color patterns, linear patterns, and shape patterns, all to tell the story of these beautiful stones and to heighten your appreciation of them. Here's a piece that's unlike any of the others we've seen before in this regard. It's telling a story. It's clearly a woman hanging baubles, hanging crystals, and it's a bit of a tour de force in the sense that the artist is rendering not only a figure, but her background and these beautiful objects and her reflection very convincingly and emotionally. But it's not photographically real. There is, the artist's hand is one of the strong suits of this piece. The way the artist softens edges, the way the artist uses drawn lines to create the shape of her arm, for instance. There are marks that create this arm, or the likeness on her face. So the linear aspect of working with pastel is on display in this piece. And the overall effect is rather romantic and heightened. So we see a scene with heightened appreciation for what is going on in there, as well as appreciation for the skill of the painter. Here's another figure piece, quite different again. The variety in this show is fabulous. In this piece, the artist does something that I am a particular fan of, and I admit it. I've always thought it was terrific when the painter is able to apply the pigment in such a way that it transitions from fully developed, like it is on the face and the front of the turban, to coming up on the edge where you're aware that it's a drawing, to where it just becomes a sketched line. Should I stand on this side? Is that better?
I can't get rid of the.
There's glare, I'm sure. But the way this goes from completely finished pigment to slightly finished to just ever so drawn in to just a sketch to blank paper. To be able to integrate those elements of the art, I think is a tricky thing, and not everybody can do it well. And I haven't even talked about the beautiful image. I mean, look at his face. Look at that expression. Who is this guy? And look at the coloration. And he's got this orange mark on his forehead. There's a story there. I don't know, but it's there. And the light on his skin and the ruddiness of his complexion, the way his hair just again dissolves into the paper. I just think that's luscious. Here's another figure piece. I'm going to try standing this side. Here again, the face isn't the central focus of the whole piece. The figure is, the position of the person. What's going on? Why are they posed that way? And how beautifully the artist has used the clothing, the stripes, to help convey the form and also to tell us something about the character. Her face is very beautifully rendered, but it's ever so little. She's hiding. Are the stripes like a protection, or is it just the randomness of her shirt and her shorts, that she's just a modern young girl, even down to the bra strap showing? I mean, here again though, as with the one with the gentleman in the turban, the artist so successfully transitions from fully developed to partially rendered to barely sketched in to the bare paper. That successful use of the paper, I think, is very, very exemplary. Okay, we got one here. How am I doing time-wise? Doing okay?
29 minutes.
How many?
29 minutes.
Oh, I'm going longer. Oh, I can talk.
It's okay.
Okay, so this piece, another figure painting, very different energy. This is a group, this is a story, this is a place. These are people doing things. They're interacting with their environment. There's a feeling to where they are. The figures are part of the composition. We don't get involved in each of their lives particularly. We see them as players. So I think of this piece as more of, again, a compositional design that uses the figures, that uses the play of light on the figures and on the surfaces to tell the story. Okay, we've got to go around. Okay, I have to talk faster or shorter?
You're okay.
Okay, another figure piece in a different style, very energetic, very emotional, more like abstract expressionism, but with a figure, and the addition of words that tell part of the story of the sadness and the prayer that this piece is about. This person has completely left behind the concerns of photographic perspective, because their purpose is to tell an emotional story and convey a message. And I think the colors, the style of application, the inclusion of the words makes that happen very well. This is an abstract piece that I'm totally gaga over. I don't think I would change one color. I wouldn't change the position of any of those forms. They are right exactly where they have to be. There's the most amazing balance to this composition. Some of the colors modulate, some actually float into and out of each other, some are more crisp, and yet they dance together. I just think it's gorgeous. And here's another gorgeous piece. And it dances together in its way, but this does it in a floral lilac way. The variety of colors, the variety of marks, and while everything kind of blossoms out from this spot, it isn't boring because there is so much else that enriches it. The whole piece is like a dance also. The different colors that support the blues and purples. And again, if you look, we know it's floral. In fact, I believe the name has something, wild lilac. But I would bet you can't find exactly a lilac flower in that painting. It's not about being literal. It's about the energy and the feel of it, and just a beautiful composition. Speaking of beautiful compositions, that is the thing that struck me first about this piece. This doesn't have the gorgeous coloration. The colors are quite ordinary. These are the kinds of things we see every day. But look at how masterfully the artist has cropped and composed and directed the energy. I mean, I could go on about, look how the roof line holds our interest down, but this vertical holds it up. So there's a dynamic tension there. We have this line crossed by these lines, which again hold us in a structure. We have these little diagonals, we have spots of color, and then we have the shapes of the old car with the big fins coming out as a focal point. Just a beautiful piece of composition. And I think this is our last piece, this beautiful sunset. Another tonal kind of painting, a luscious landscape, warm, inviting, and just, if you look closely at the backlit glow along the edge of the horizon and the spots of light, little bit of figure buildings here, just a beautifully rendered and a lovely piece. Two more. Oh, there are two more. Thank you.
Right there,
Oh, I think just the one. Yes,
and that corner.
you're right, there are two more. Okay. This is a small piece with a big punch. Look at this guy. He's very humble, but he fits into his composition again beautifully. He's wearing a white shirt, he's wearing I mean, it's a familiar scene in that way, but look at how beautifully and simply the artist has rendered the ground and the background and the architectural details simplified just to give us enough information to give us a feel for this man and where he is. And again, wonderful combination of the rich rosy tones and the subtle grays and browns. Very well done together. Okay, so now we're going to our last one? Okay. This one, I even love the name, it's called And the strength and the verve with which this is composed, with which it's conceived, and with which it is rendered is very strong. How, you've got the figure lying upside down. Look at her hair. It's just scribbled blue on a wedge. And yet we know it's her hair laying out. It doesn't need to be any more detailed. The form is rendered convincingly enough without being so embarrassing that it's a nude, if you know what I mean. It's a beautiful figure in beautiful forms. And we have one kind of background, a slightly different background, and a very different background. It's a very modern sensibility that uses just enough drawn line to convey the form, and yet it's really a color study as well. So again, a very successful piece, I think. Well, thank you. My wrap-up is, thanks for staying with me so long. It went out a bit more than I thought. But there were 28 award winners, and there's 98 paintings in the show, and all of them are beautiful. I do hope you get to come see it.
Thank you.
Thanks.